Vamos a ver. Mario Kart. No voy a mentir. Si hay una razón por la que yo compro el Switch 2, es por Mario Kart. Y mi esposa también lo quiere jugar. Y aquí va a haber una competencia y va a haber problemas con este juego. Pero nada. Yo estoy dispuesto. Estoy dispuesto por Mario Kart. Estoy dispuesto. Vamos a ver este gameplay. Anunciaron el Nintendo. Para los que no saben, el Nintendo Switch parece ser que lo retrasaron por las tarifas. Y nada, y parece ser también que va a ser un poco más caro. Vamos a buscar algo ya mismito para leer sobre eso. Déjame, tengo que abrir, by the way, aquí ya mismito este Twitter. Y hablar algo sobre eso. A ver qué es la que hay. Vamos a ver este gameplay.
Let's go!
Mario Kart World on Nintendo Switch 2 is the first new home console Mario Kart in 10 years. Logan and I got to play a ton of it today on Switch 2 hardware, and we loved it, and we can't wait to tell you all about it, so let's go.
El mapa. ¿Cómo es que se llama este juego? Que era así se me olvidó el nombre. Bien famoso.
Okay, so Mario Kart World's big new thing is the massive...
What the heck? ¿Este es el mapa? Nah, you're kidding me. Este es el open world donde tú puedes ir correr y llegar a las pistas y todo. Nah, yo no te creo.
Mario Kart World's big new thing.
Ok. Parece ser que este va a ser el mapa de Mario Kart, que es un open world. El mapa, hasta donde tengo entendido. Y parece ser que este es el mapa. Tenemos nieve. Hacia abajo aquí, mira, hacia abajo aquí hay par también, mira, metido. Nieve, desierto, Greenlands, volcano. Esto es como que desert. Y aquí, pues, ¿dónde está el start level? Where is the start level? Ok, vamos a ir viendo esto.
Is the massive interconnected open world. It's really cool. It's really beautiful.
Es un
We
open
both
world.
loved it. Tell me about it, Logan.
Yeah, it's so different than anything that
Yo que
Mario
no lo
Kart
quería
has done
comprar.
before. You're not just on a track
Era
and doing
esto.
3
Yo que
laps
no lo quería
anymore.
comprar.
And it's even bigger than something like Mount Wario from Mario Kart 8, where you're doing 3 different segments. You start at one course and you are driving in different segments to the next course. And track A is Moo Moo Meadows and track B is Shy Guy Bazaar. You start in this rolling start at Moo Moo Meadows, and then you are driving on the world map on these interconnected highways to get to Shy Guy Bazaar, and then the race ends with 1 full lap at Shy Guy Bazaar. So it is entirely different. It's really interesting, and it was tough to kind of wrap our head around at first because it is so different than anything they've done before, but it's really ambitious, really fun, and really cool.
Really like the sort of Forza Horizon style open world.
Eso mismo, Forza. Es como Forza, pero Mario
Driving
Kart.
game approach. We got to poke around a lot in this world. It's huge, and there's hidden secrets, collectibles everywhere. You can drive a boat now as your cart into the sea, and there was just like this big, huge cloud blowing wind.
Lo hicieron como Diddy Kong Racing. Diddy Kong Racing. Para mí, Diddy Kong Racing fue el primero que se tiró ese formato de open world y entrabas a las carreras. Díganme si me equivoco o no. Diddy Kong Racing lo hizo primero. Diddy Kong Racing lo hizo primero.
Maybe telling me to back off. I found this other area where there's just a bunch of coins tucked behind this little ridge. There's grind rails and stuff that you can interact with. Or you can just hang out and take pictures with friends or whatever you want to do. The thing I'm wondering is sort of like, what's the hook? What's the loop of like finding these coins? Do we get to spend them in a shop, unlock carts or characters or costumes? Like, there's so much you can do with that.
Yeah, it is a lot like Forza Horizon. In some ways, it's not a fully open world, right? There are these tracks that you're heading to the next place on. But I think that Nintendo fans will remember Diddy Kong Racing,
por
and that
fin.
had this hub world that you drove around back on N64.
¿Lo dije o no lo dije? Aquí está la prueba. Diddy Kong Racing lo hizo primero. Mire, ¿cuándo fue esto? ¿Qué año? Dios mío, esto es bien viejo. Yo recuerdo, yo jugaba esto con el pana mío todo el día, todo el sábado.
And there were balloons to find and things like that.
Avioncito,
And when
miren.
we were in a lobby waiting for our race to start and just kind of free roaming, I saw this glowing gold peach coin that I couldn't get to, and we don't really know what that is. Maybe it unlocks costumes or different outfits or some unlockable for Peach. Yeah, I think there's going to be stuff to do in the free roaming open world.
Que
And
tiene
something
mejores
else I liked about
specs,
it is that was the lobby.
explorando nuevos
That is the loading
horizontes,
screen. You're not staring at your
haciendo
me
cosas
standing
nuevas,
on just
nice.
planet Earth anymore, like Mario Kart 8. You are driving around practicing. There's a rewind button. Like if you want to go back, just like Forza, you can just rewind and you could go like all the the way back to the very beginning of where you started, so it's going to be more fun when you're waiting for lobbies to fill with 24 people now, not 12 people now.
24.
You'll have something to do.
A brand new race across the entire world.
24.
I want to talk a bit about characters in this game. There are tons of them. We went through the entire character select screen. So there's not only all the classic Nintendo characters or Mario characters specifically, but also alternate costume versions of them. And that plays sort of interestingly because you can also find power-ups in the race, largely centered around food. You can get food, and that food changes and alters your looks and your costume, which potentially gives you different sort of mechanics that you can use in the game.
On the character select screen, there's
Ahora hay buff de comida. What the fucking shit you talking about, nigga?
all the characters, Mario, Luigi, Donkey Kong, all the rest, and then there were alternate versions of them. There was like Cowboy Mario and like Athletic Donkey Kong or something like that, and they had different costumes.
La que hay para entretenernos, Dios mío.
Their stats. We're not entirely sure yet. You could pick one of these different costumes, but then you find one of these special power-ups, and it almost looks like a Wonder Flower effect from Super Mario Bros. Wonder when this food is taking over your character.
Ahora hay buff con las comidas, te transforma y tienes diferentes buff. Nice. It's gonna be insane. It's gonna be insane. It's gonna be insane. ¿Dónde está el pointer?
Count on American
costume.
My favorite new character that I got to play as a bunch today, I kept picking, was Cow from Moo Moo Meadows from N64 Mario Kart. One thing we did notice was that there are a bunch of characters that you can't choose that do appear in the races next to you, like Monty Mole or the Piantas from Super Mario Sunshine or the Conch Doors from Super Mario 3D World. So, Logan, you think we'll be able to unlock all those guys eventually?
Yeah, I have to think so. Maybe that's one of the incentives to the open world and the others.
So I want to talk about some of the new items we got to experience today, because a lot of the classic ones are back, but some new ones are really fun. One of them are just...
Yo recuerdo un día estar tranquilo en casa y llegó un corillo y empezamos a jugar Mario Kart. Y eso se volvió meses de grinding de Mario Kart. Todo el mundo en casa jugando, peleando, haciendo torneos, a ver quién era el mejor. Noches sin dormir practicando. Creo que vamos a volver a esos días sin dormir.
Hammers from the Hammer Brothers. You just throw hammers at people like you're a psycho in Home Depot. I thought those were great. There's also a punchable coin block that you can launch above your head. You hit it a bunch of times, you get a bunch of coins. But there's also altered versions of classic items, such as the lightning bolt, which you noticed.
The lightning bolt is way different in world. Instead of, you know, Mario Kart 8, if you're in first place and you get zapped, you're probably shrunk for 30 seconds maybe. In the world, it seemed like everybody was zapped and came back to full size pretty quickly. So just a balancing thing. I think they had to make a lot of core changes just to the Mario Kart DNA because of 24 racers. That changes a lot of stuff, and I think items is one place where that happens. And you no longer have to hold the item button to drag a shell behind your butt anymore. Like if you're in first place, you want to protect yourself with a banana or a green shell from oncoming red shells or whatever else is coming your way. You would have to hold that button. The rep that was there said, oh no, it just drags automatically now. And it's not just shells and defensive items. Everything drags behind you. I did ram into one with a single mushroom and it gave me a boost. Yeah, presumably you can just slam into CPUs with whatever's behind them and something will trigger, which is really cool.
So Joel dijo que ya no puedes ponerte nada para defenderte atrás. Dijo eso.
We also got to play on a bunch of different courses today. What were some of your favorites?
Yeah, what's really cool is that there were definite remixes of classic Mario Kart courses in here, and even some turns and segments that were ripped straight from old Mario Kart games, but just remixed a little bit. Like Dino Dino Jungle from Double Dash is here, but it's different. The music plays, it's a remix of that track, and you go through the same turns with the geysers that boil over and launch you into the air. There's retro tracks, but not in the sense that, hey, we plucked this from Mario Kart DS and we remade it here. It's, we took this theme, this idea, this motif, and kind of just remixed it a little bit to fit this entirely new formula. They were all really, really good.
Introducing Knockout Tour.
Knockout Tour is the brand new non-stop 6-race, 24-player Fortnite-style Battle Royale Mario Kart mode, and it feels
Okay, hay un modo nuevo, como un battle. What?
Déjame ver eso. So right. This takes place in the open world, so you can hang out in the open world, launch into this, and while you're waiting for the game to populate, you just hang out, drive around, collect stuff, do your open world stuff. Little by little, eventually, characters will start to pop in, and they'll all choose a Grand Prix that they want to race on, or a set of courses. Those votes are then tallied, and then you jump into that race, and then immediately from there, you're going as fast as possible, and you have to make it through checkpoints at a certain point in the race. Like if you're in and, you know, you have to be in the top 20 or you get eliminated. And things happen so fast. They're so chaotic and so crazy. I love this mode so much.
Yeah, it is.
Hay un nuevo modo. Multiplayer.
Super fun. And this is a bigger commitment than your standard 2 to 3 minute Mario Kart race. This is 10-ish minutes probably for the whole thing. It's 6 segments, and you're driving from one track to the second, to the third, to the fourth, to the fifth, to the sixth. You're not stopping and doing an individual lap at that circuit. You're just driving kind of the in-between areas. So a very different take. You're not going to see anything twice in this race because it is a linear path from start to finish, like a 10-minute long Mount Wario, essentially. And it's super fun. It feels like F-Zero, where every moment is intense. It's not just about winning the race at the end and maybe you get a lucky bullet bill. It is
nice.
lap 3. I am in 16th
Eso me parece
place.
Nice.
I need to be in 12th place. Can I get there? You're trying to pass people, and there's
una sola carrera, un solo lap.
You. And you, Brian, had a really unlucky
no se
one.
repiten.
The first time we tried this, you went to
Así
like
va a ser el
3rd to
multiplayer.
22nd, which is something you can say now
Nice.
in Mario Kart World. It's crazy. Adding 24 characters to the track just makes it so chaotic.
It happened so fast I was just jaw-dropped, stunned, and all I could do was laugh. This is going to lead to some of the funniest moments in Mario Kart history, and I cannot wait for it.
Funniest.
Soy Lucas, tengo 4 años.
What are you talking, my friend? Funniest.
Y soy paciente de...
Mario Kart World launches day and date on Nintendo Switch 2 when the system launches, and it's going for $80. And I don't want to dwell on it too much, but I have to get it off my chest that this feels just a little weird. We loved what we played today. All the modes are great. All the characters are awesome. It didn't really scream, this justifies $80 to me. It just really feels like Nintendo knows that this is one of the best-selling franchises of all time. But why is this game $80?
It's a tough pill to swallow, especially when something like Donkey Kong Bonanza, which looks equally amazing.
Yo me hago la misma pregunta. ¿Por qué Nintendo va a tirar los juegos en 80 y 90? ¿Por qué? No entiendo. Incluso hay que bajar los upgrades de Zelda. Es una loquera. Eso yo siento que es una loquera, no sé. Esa es una de las razones por las que yo siento que no debería comprar este Nintendo Switch. Pero mi esposa me va a obligar por Mario Kart, yo lo sé. Pero the heck?
Is $70. It's just a very inconsistent pricing structure from Nintendo, and we're seeing with their upgrades too, $10 for some, $20 for another. And Mario Kart being the first $80 Nintendo game, yeah, I'll easily get $80 worth of value out of it, but it is a tough pill to swallow for a game so aimed at families, and it just makes me wonder, is Animal Crossing going to be $80? Splatoon, the next Zelda, like, it's opening a can of worms that we'll see how Nintendo proceeds. And if in 1 year they add 8 new tracks for free, I'll feel great about that.
Va a empujar a todos en 80.
Where I'm putting more money into Mario Kart World. I don't know how
capaz de subirlo a 100,
so
así
it's
son.
an interesting one for sure.
Yeah, I feel like if this thing came bundled with like a year of Nintendo Switch Online or some sort of season pass content, something that made it feel like, hey, this is
ahora
podemos really bang
literalmente
it'd be a little easier to handle. But
esquinas.
right now, it kind of stinks. It's the only real negative we have about Mario Kart World so far, which otherwise feels, looks, and plays fantastic. But that's Mario Kart World, one of the many games we played here at the Nintendo 2 Switch preview event in New York City. We also went hands-on with the hardware, so go check out that video. Logan, thank you so much for all things Nintendo Switch 2, Mario Kart World, and the cow eating other cows. Stick with IGN.
Ok. Parece ser que esto es lo que va a ser Mario Kart. Aún así yo me niego, y se los voy a seguir diciendo, a pagar $80 a $100 por los juegos. Entiendo que si yo voy a pagar 100 pesos por un juego, bebo, todo tiene que estar en el juego. Todo es absolutamente todo. Durante el primer año nada de microtransacciones. Y el primer DLC mínimo gratis. Mínimo. No sé. Mi pensar. Nada, no olviden que me pueden seguir en dónde. Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, Twitter, X, para que vean todo y sean parte del journey. Los veo, corillo.